Hi, Jack Canfield here, and welcome back to another segment of Talking About Success. I am here with Susan B. Mead, who's written a phenomenal book called Dance with Jesus, From Grief to Grace. And I just want to ask you, what brought you to write this book?
Great question, Jack. Thank you. I was actually doing a Bible study one night, The Experiencing God, and the question was, what does God want you to do right now? And I heard, really, I heard sing my love song, and I laughed out loud and said, seriously, God, send me a bucket because I can't carry tune, and you know it. You know, because these two lips, it's not happening. And then I felt that nudge that said, what's in your hand? And I was in a workbook, so I had a pen in my hand. And the next thing was use it. So I literally put pen to paper and just wrote until 5:30 in the morning, went to bed, got up later that day, and the first email was, She Speaks, Speakers and Writers Conference. It's like, Writers Conference?
I love it.
Seriously, God? Okay. And that's how that came.
It's like a sheepdog corralling you in there.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, there you go. So, okay, so you were supposed to write, but you've written about something. So talk about what did you write about?
You know, the reality is I've experienced loss, great loss. I lost a sister, brilliant PhD nurse, to suicide. I lost my youngest son the last day of spring break, college age, to drugs and alcohol. 2 years ago, I found my husband and I were in the grandstand at the Boston Marathon when the bomb exploded directly across the street.
Oh, you were there?
I was there.
Wow.
So having experienced that, I also found that God showed up when we needed Him most, or when I needed Him most, and shined the brightest lights in my darkest moments.
I'm still reeling after all that, especially the Boston Marathon, which I spent years in Boston going to school there. So it was when that happened, it was like, you know, you don't realize how the wars of the world have like come to our shores, you know, with 9/11 and the Boston Marathon and all of that.
Yes.
Wow. So there's a message in here, though.
Yes. Talk
about the message. What is it you want people to learn from reading this book?
The reality is we don't have to wallow in grief. And what I do at the end of each chapter, I literally turn the spotlight from my story to you, the reader, to have you have that moment of introspection and time to meditate and listen to what's God saying to you. Because He wants to shine His light in everybody's dark moments. And the reality is, grief doesn't just bypass somebody. We all experience in some way, shape, or form, whether we lose a person, a body part to cancer or an accident, a pet, a job, a relationship. There's so many different forms of grief, but the reality is we don't have to stay stuck there. There's a journey that we can go through to walk into a graceful spot and to look up and see the light and live out loud and in color again. And that's where I want to show people you can do it.
To live out loud and in color. I like that.
Sir.
I like that. Now, I read through your book earlier today, and I remember you talked about in one of the chapters about how some of the other books that other people had written that helped you so much.
Yes, sir.
And now you've written a book to do the same thing for others. You're kind of paying it forward out of your own experience.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I know the book's not been out that long, but you've already had a lot of success with this book. Talk about that real quick.
You know what? It actually launches next week. So the fun thing is, it broke the top 100 today. I just looked, it's number 38 a week prior to launch.
Is this on Amazon or where?
That's on Amazon. It's available everywhere. But
so the pre-buys are already got you up to number 39.
Yeah.
Wow. You have some good friends both here on earth, because I know you've got some people that are supporting this book.
Thank you.
And also on a vertical level as well. That's great. Good for you. Anything else you'd like to say about this?
You know what? I pray that it blesses the person that it's supposed to read it. And whether the individual is grieving or they have a friend who's grieving and they don't know how to talk to them, it's a simple way of sharing that gift and helping pay it forward. And the reality is there may be a crisis. What if the next, God forbid, bomb or whatever goes off? There's an opportunity to share with others. Just
Beautiful.
a gift to a community.
Beautiful. Well, just talking to you, I feel the peace inside of you and the joy. You radiate it and you exude it. And for someone who's gone through as much loss as you have, it's not your you're walking your talk. You are a living example of what it is you're teaching here. So if people want to find out more about the book, they can buy it at Amazon. I imagine Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, all the usual places. But you also have a website about the book.
I do.
So that's called dancewithjesus.com, real
Yes, sir.
simple. Okay. And you have your own website that people can contact you, because I know you want to speak about this, and you have been speaking about it as well.
Right.
Where do they go? Where do they go for that?
That one is real simple. It's my name, Susan, middle initial B, Mead, MEAD.com. So susanbmeaddancewithjesus.com.
Oh, very good. Okay. Well, I love this book. I love the cover, too. I think it's a great cover. And it's funny. I signed one of my books to you earlier today, and I just wrote, "Keep Dancing with Jesus," you know?
Thank you.
So good for you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, so Dance with Jesus, dancewithjesus.com, Amazon.com, susanbmead.com. There's no reason to wallow in your suffering and in your grief. This book can help you get out of it. Share it with your family and friends, anyone who might need this book. So stick around. We'll be right back after this break. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it.